Let's get to story number two. Story number two. How bad is the world's pollution? Folks, this story has been, when you're talking about pollution, it's been creeping in and out of the news. But they're talking about how there's this the Republicans want a climate change deal, but they don't want it to be called the Green New Deal. And you've seen Democrats, or not just Democrats, but environmentalists in general, and quite a few news stories they've been surfacing, and they've been trying to get the public to understand that they're saying that the CO2 levels in the air are now, or CO2 levels in the atmosphere are now higher than they've ever been before. And they're talking about how plastic in general is, they're saying it's over tons of it have been piling up on a remote island. They found hundreds of pieces of plastic, and they're talking about what this is doing to the to not only just the ocean but the environment, and how people have just been consuming them. We've been consuming ourselves, but for consuming ourselves to death, but we're forgetting about the environment. And they're saying this story has been staying alive, folks. And when you talk about pollution and climate change, and now they're getting radical with this, and they're talking about how California may ban gas powered cars in some sense, but they're saying that North America is leading the way to fight climate change, but the world needs to catch up. And they're saying that this is big because you have so many consumers and you have so many people polluting and abusing the environment. They're saying that this is a real deal problem, and they're talking about how much time we have left on the clock. Folks, this is they're making this story out to be big, but they've got opposition. Then they're talking about there was a story that surfaced about how oil was seeping into the Gulf of Mexico. It's now contained. They're saying that oil has been going into the ocean for almost 14 years. So they're saying that this pollution thing is really, really bad, and they're saying that humans are doing all of this to the environment. And they're talking about of how that plants. There was even a story that I came across in National Geographic. It's talking about how plants are absorbing. They're made to absorb the carbon, but there's so much carbon that they don't know how much longer the plants are going to be able to absorb the carbon. So this is there, and then you have the opposing side saying that this is all BS. The Earth goes through changes. Human beings cannot possibly be causing this. They're talking about polar ice caps melting and all this other stuff. So this story has been staying alive. It's been amazing. And it's been staying alive because we've had people who are becoming climate activists, radicals, environmentalists, and they're getting on the front lines, and they're protesting. And so they're saying that Mexico City has so much pollution that residents are urged to stay indoors. Even in China, they're saying that the industrialized facilities in China are so polluting the air that they've been getting, I think they were talking about discolored snow. People have got to wear masks. So this is becoming a really big story when you're talking about pollution and climate change. And then they're talking about how greenhouse gases are at a record high. They're talking about space junk, and so these stories that you're seeing are elevating. They're getting stronger and stronger every week because people are bringing up points, and they're saying that human beings are causing all of this by just our habits, the way we live, the way we consume. And now, if you wonder why companies are trying to invest in electric vehicles, it's because of regulation. We have all of this oil underneath us, and people are saying that because of our consumption, because we need energy, we need nuclear facilities, that we are killing ourselves. So this story is gaining steam, and it's affecting policy. Australian islanders, they filed a landmark climate change, I think it's a lawsuit against the government. So this story is really, really, when you talk about how bad is the world's pollution, this story has been staying alive, especially when you talk about climate change and plastics. They're saying they're finding plastics inside of animals, ocean life, whales' bellies and how they're dying, they're washing up on the seas, and these stories are constantly making headlines. So how serious is this? You got to think years ago when the climate change got introduced and they were talking about how this was years ago. So is this really factual? Every week I've tried to talk to you about almanacs and how we haven't been here long enough to figure this out, but they're saying that the data is in. They're trying to, is it a scare tactic? Is this real? That's story number 2. If you want to contribute in any way, that's story number 2 is how bad is the world's pollution? And folks, is climate change really real? If you want to contribute, you're in the Mediator with me, Brian Westward. It's my supreme duty every week to give you the top 8 headlines and developing news stories that made it in. I'm at the office at 5648 Market Street giving out services if you want to stop by and show me some love. I'm at 5648 Market Street. I'm there from 10 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and I'm here every Sunday giving you what you need. Vitamin news, baby. I'm here from 4 to 5 p.m. navigating the news just for you to keep you informed. So if you want to contribute anyway, METHOD, the number 8, INC.com, method80.com, where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, or just read something, or just sponsor the program.
Then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.